Merry meet everyone! Welcome back to Midnight Fantasy Creation. Today I want to paint one of the gnomes, and I'm only doing this because the gnomes are actually selling. A lot of people are either favoring it in their Etsy shop or have actually bought quite a few of them. So I want to do a video for people to kind of inspire them to paint, not necessarily inspire. I'm pretty sure you guys have plenty of creative ideas on how to paint your gnomes, or else you wouldn't want one to paint. But what to do, and I wanted to make this video a little easier for the people who aren't subscribed to the channel and have bought my gnomes, kind of want to know, like, you know, oh, how do you, like, what paints can you use? Like, does it have to be, like, from a bottle? Can you do, like, the acrylic pens? Can you do the micas? I mean, not the micas, the chrome markers, and then of course to seal them at the end. And I'm going to show you not just the sealer that I love using, but the ones that they actually do recommend, like the acrylic sealer, as well as the Rust-Oleum is another one that I've seen people use. Which one's the best? That will be up to you guys. I like my fast coat. Sorry, I like my quick coat. So far it's my favorite. I haven't had any issues with it. Whereas the Mod Podge, I've had some issues with it, but it could have been mostly because of me not being patient and rushing to put it on. And I've had flaking and issues, but again, that could be user error and nothing to do with the Mod Podge. So it does, I give out little cards with instructions. If you're the first person that bought my gnome, you didn't get a card, and I do apologize, because I was a little late getting those out there. If you do buy my gnomes now, you will get little instructions on how to paint your gnomes. Like, it'll tell you use your favorite, you know, water-based paint. And then, of course, when you're done, let it sit for 24 hours before you seal it. And it is highly recommended to seal your gnomes or your figurines, because I will be adding figurines to the selection, but they are different weights, and I need to figure out what weights would be best in, like, a category for shipment reasons, because I've already had quite a few issues trying to ship out some of the gnomes because some of them are heavier. Etsy won't let you, you know, change the weight based on the figurine, so I have to get them pretty close to the same size in order to get the most accurate shipping and handling on Etsy. All right, well, I'm going to do, since it's St. Patty's Day, or pretty close to it, I'm going to do the little clover gnome. I want to do it in some of the color shift paint from Folk Art in the lime green, or actually I think it's green flash. Yes, green flash, and then I need to open this one, but this one is the dragon flash. And I think these two would be really good contrasts for the hat, doing the clovers in this green and then the hat in this one. And then I was thinking of using the neon green for his jacket or his shirt in the back. And then I want to do brown for the boots. I was thinking of doing black soles. I want to do gold for what's in his hand, because I'm pretty sure those are supposed to be clovers, but as you can see in this one, they did not come out too well, and it just looks like a weird lump of something. So I'm going to make it look like gold, or fool's gold, and it's going to look like, you know, I have a little, like I'm basically want to make it look like I have a leprechaun, essentially. So I am using different paints, like the color shift paints. This is a different brand. The neon, I'm using acrylic paint markers. I'm going to be using the chrome paint. I'm going to be using paintbrushes to put it on, and I will show you guys how all that's done. I don't know what I did with my silicone mat. So I have a nice mat to put my paint on. I need to use this side. And I want to start with this dark green. And of course, if you're new to my channel, you can definitely check in on any of the previous videos. It will actually have quite a few different like candles and stuff made from the same material as these gnomes. And you can paint them the same way that I do that. But the gnomes that I am selling on my Etsy shop right now are white. They're not this gray color. And if you want to know why, you can definitely check out my comparison video that I did on the resin plaster, or I don't remember what I called it. So if you find this kind of stuff boring, you can skip over this video. This video was meant to be for the ones that are buying my paint your own gnomes. And of course, you can always fast forward through the video if you just want to see how I seal them. I may just fast forward through this video to paint through the parts. I'll try not to speed it up too much. You can actually see what I'm doing, if you can actually see what I'm doing. Because I don't know how well the angle is on this camera. Once I'm back in my office for the season, I will have the other camera that views it from the top. And stuff like this would be much easier to see. Hey Google, turn media light on. Now you are going to have to do some of this in layers, depending on how saturated your paint is, or pigmented, I should say. Whether or not you need to go over spots to fix little oopsies, and that does happen. Now I'm going to be going back and forth between colors to let the first color dry while I'm painting the second color. Because this paint does dry fairly quickly. Well, the acrylic paint anyway. Whenever you are done, brush, put it in some water, rinse it off, all the paint off of it. Do not leave it in your cup of water. You will ruin your brushes. And then just take a paper towel, tissue, whatever is at your convenience, and dry them off. That way, in case you do need them again, you don't have to worry about brush being too wet, which I may need to go over this green one more time. But moving on, I might do this gold first. May actually have to do that gold in layers. That's the first time I haven't been able to use the gold as well. I am trying to keep the beard as natural to the gray as possible, but if I get a little green on it, I am not too worried. That's coming out pretty nice. So far, anyways. Alright, I'm going to try and attempt that gold a second time. As for his skin tone, we are doing whatever color this is. Nice tan color, but because of the gray undertone, he's going to look a little ashy. And there's nothing I can do about that. For future reference, if you see any of my painted gnomes, I am not going to be painting the skin tone until after you order it. That way you can have it any skin tone you want, whether it's white, tan, black, anywhere in between. I will have some pre-made tones for people to pick out, and that way their gnome, if they don't want to paint them themselves, still get a nice gnome that fits in your home, hopefully your garden. I do need to check to see if, as they say, if you seal it, it makes it more waterproof. I want to see how waterproof this is going to be. So this one is going to be my tester. I am going to seal this after I paint it, and then it's going outside. Now, just for the black, I am going to use Sharpie, because I'm pretty sure you can use Sharpie on these, even though they're not water-based. There you have it. Sharpie works. Not my favorite though. All right, and there is our little gnome, all painted, colored, and decked out for the holiday. So I used 2 different kind of acrylic paints, and as you can see, you can let it dry and go over it again to get rid of some of that white background, kind of really brighten out the color in both the neon and the color shift. We use paint pens, and then of course we also had a little metallic paint in there, and then not painting it at all in the beard. So you have plenty of options if you want to paint your own gnome. And of course, the sky's the limit when it comes to color, because you can find every color under the sun online. I know folk art has a huge variety. There's another one that you can also find at Hobby Lobby. Like a lot of this stuff, like these right here, I found at Hobby Lobby. These you can find on Amazon. You can probably find something similar to that at Hobby Lobby, Walmart, any other crafting store. So I'm going to let this little guy dry overnight, and I will be back to seal him tomorrow. And then he is going outside for a lovely adventure. And we'll see how he does in about a month. All right, this has had plenty of time to dry. We are going to put a sealer on it, but I first want to show you different sealers. So I had a Rust-Oleum. I don't know where it went, but this is a satin varnish sealer. You can get these in any of the role-playing game stores. Hi, Dodge. So they have special sealers because they do have figurines of their own that you can hand paint. With their paint, they have special paint for that. I don't know if it's water-based. I think they are actually. So that's another idea to use for paint. But they do have a nice varnish satin sealer. So with the satin, I believe it's not glossy, but it's not exactly matte. I want to say it's somewhere in between. So it has a light shine to it, but it's not like a matte finish. The Mod Podge does come in matte. This is in acrylic sealers, clear acrylic sealer. And this is a matte finish. And then, of course, they also have a high shine, as well as glittered ones. You can get them with glitter in it. So if you want to add a little sparkle, I think holographic glitter is another one they have offer. They might even have some other color changing kind of like glitter like sprays. I haven't bought those to try them, so those are a couple of your options. My favorite is the Quick Coat from Counterculture DIY, and I mainly like this because I am indoors. This does not have a super strong odor to it. You do still need to be in a ventilated area, but unlike these sprays, you are going to smell this for days. So if you do use any of these spray-like ones or any of the other varnish or varnish or acrylic sealers, you need to be in a very ventilated area. I do recommend outside, either in your driveway with the piece of cardboard on the ground and then stick your item on it and spray it so you're not spraying your driveway, or a well-ventilated room. If you have a well-ventilated garage, that'd be fine too. Again, cardboard, paper, things like the painter's paper, where it spreads wide areas. That way you're not ruining your surfaces. Not saying you're going to ruin them, but you're going to spray them. And it's going to get everywhere. So definitely keep that in mind when you go to seal your little gnomes or figurines. But one of the reasons why I like this one, yes, you have to use a brush to apply it, but the odor is way, way less potent. I literally can open this bottle and smell it, and it smells like regular paint. Like, it's not super, super strong. This does say you should wear a respirator and eye protection with these products. I don't know why, especially this one. The odor is really not that strong. So I don't know if this is a caution label they stick on all of their bottles. I've seen people in other videos use this. They say it's non-toxic. I don't know. It doesn't say anywhere on here if it is non-toxic or toxic. It does say prolonged and repeated liquid contact may cause defading, I don't know if I'm saying that right, and drying of the skin, which may result in skin irritation or dermatitis, which basically is just the fancy way of saying skin irritation. So it does, I don't use gloves for this. I've seen people use this constantly and not use gloves, but that doesn't mean someone's not going to become allergic to it. You do need to still keep in mind your sensitivity. If you have super sensitive skin, please just wear gloves. Save yourself the trouble of finding out if it's going to bother your skin. If you don't have super sensitive skin and you don't care about the risk like I do, I don't care. I don't have super sensitive skin. I don't have many things that bother me. I am a hairstylist. I am in a higher risk of getting allergic reaction to chemicals, but I've been doing it for 8 years now, and I haven't had an issue, knock on wood. Not saying it's not going to happen tomorrow, but I don't usually like put this on with my fingers either. I do like just brushing it on, nice thin layers. Now when I say thin, I do mean to have a little, like there needs to be a little something on this brush because this dries fast. This actually dries really fast. And if you have it too thin, you are going to stick to the brush and it's going to lift instead of adhere to your item. So yes, you do need a thin layer, but it doesn't need to be so thin the brush is sticking to your item. Just don't like gloop it on so it's running off or clumping up in areas. Do smooth out your project because you don't want to necessarily like, let me just put that back where it was. So I don't know if you can see that, how it's building up right here in the corners and the ridges. So just take your brush and just smooth that out. Kind of, it needs to be there, but you just don't need a whole lot of it. Now, if there's an area where you just can't get to, you're lucky you even got the sealer there in the first place. It's fine. It dries clear. It will shrink down a little bit or maybe even a lot. I mean, I've done it once or twice in some areas where I was lucky to get it in there and forget about trying to wipe out any extra. And you notice it very, very lightly that you got a little heavy in that one spot, but not to the point where it's gonna be super obvious or, you know, look like it was like, you know, poorly done. Let's put it that way. And give yourself a little credit or a little leeway to how much you're putting on in certain areas. Do your best to kind of keep it nice and even and smooth, but like I said, if you got that one spot where you're lucky you got it in there in the first place, don't sweat it. So I am going to finish sealing this. I am going to do 3 coats off camera because I do want to put this outside to see. Now they say you should do at least, I want to say 2 to 3 coats. Some will say, actually I think this one says let it dry. Completely dry, like dry to the touch. It does not take long whatsoever to dry. It lives up to its name. It is a quick coat sealer, and it does dry fairly fast. Give it like 10, 20 minutes just to be on the safe side, depending on if you got those really thick areas, like I said, that you're lucky you got something in there and you can't wipe it down. It's going to take a little longer for those areas to dry, but the rest of this is going to dry like within 10 minutes, maybe even less. But I mean, I've never timed it. But it is fast. Like I can seal this, put it aside, seal another gnome, and then it's dry by the time I get back to it. So, like I mentioned, I am going to put this outside after I'm done putting 3 coats on. And then, I mean, it's rainy today. It's a shame it's not already dry because that's what I want to see. I have had multiple people ask me, is it waterproof? Can I leave it outside? Can I put it in my garden? Can I, you know, like, is it going to be safe to leave out in the open weather? And my answer to that is, I don't know. It says if you seal it, it is waterproof or more waterproof. I'd have to look at the resin, the magic pour resin container to reread it. I do know you can also use a wax to seal these. I probably would trust, actually, you know what? One of these videos, I'm going to need to do that. Do a wax sealer, a varnish sealer, an acrylic sealer, and then this urethane sealer on several gnomes or figurines. I probably shouldn't have done the bottom of that already. Oops. Oh well. I do need to see which one will seal better, so that way you guys will know which sealer to use if you do want to paint your gnomes and leave them outside. But as for right now, I am just testing this one because I have people buying my gnomes. And I've had a couple of people ask, oh, well, after you paint it, how do you kiln it or heat it up or seal it? And I tell them, I'm like, oh, you don't need to put it in any heat. You don't need to fire it up. You don't need to, you still need to seal it. But you need to seal it with either a varnish or a varnish or an acrylic sealer. And like I said, some of them even said wax sealer. So that is how you seal them. All right, so that is done its first coat. I'm gonna let this dry, finish up the next 2 coats, and then that'll be it for this video. So that is it for today. If you like what you see, subscribe to the channel. It helps out YouTubers, to be honest. Like the video, share. I've noticed some people have been sharing my videos. Thank you so much. I do appreciate that. It helps get my videos out there because not everyone gets a chance to see them because, you know, depending on how the algorithm is for the YouTube website, it doesn't mean everyone that wants to see them is going to be able to see them. So sharing them actually helps that. And I appreciate it so much. Thank you to all of the people that have subscribed. Again, it means the world to me and it helps me out a lot. And any YouTuber you do like, even if you don't really care for every single video, subscribing actually does a lot because it lets them continue doing videos, and liking the ones that you like lets them know which videos you guys like more, if that makes sense. So if you like half of my videos, like half my videos. And that way I know which videos you guys like and want to see, and I can make more of those videos. Whereas if I'm making all these videos and I'm not getting many likes, well, I don't know if you guys actually don't like it or not. So I'm going to continue making videos because, I mean, you guys are watching them. I'm assuming you like them. I also liking the videos really does help. Doing certain videos, I'll say, oh, if you want to see this, give me, 20 likes. Another reason why is so I know you actually guys want to see something like this, that it's new for you, if you want to see how it works, if I do something different, if I do something the same. I have no problem doing, those kind of videos. Also, comment below. Let me know, if this was helpful. If you have any questions, I can do my best to answer them. If it's just you commenting, oh my God, this was amazing and this was so helpful. Thank you. Actually, I think I had one person in one of my other videos comment, oh, I love, this video really made me think outside the box. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And, that's great. And those comments I may not respond to. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, actually, I think I did respond to that one. I might just hit there's a little heart button on every comment that I can click. That way I'll let you know that at least read it, even if it's something I can't really respond to. Like, it's not a question, it's just you guys saying, oh, I really love the video. Awesome, thank you so much. There's the like. That way I read your comments, because I do read all the comments, including the one from my crazy sister, which, one of these days I might get her on one of these channels if she's comfortable with it, and we can do something together, and that would be nice, because I know she really loved the idea of the cherry blossom that I showed in the last video with the 4-leaf clovers. So also check out some of my social media. I don't post a lot. I do my best to try to keep it up to date. Let you guys know who is in the area of New Hampshire, what craft fairs I'm at. So you can always skip the shipping and handling and just buy it directly. It's a lot cheaper that way. That way you also see me and any of, some of the other people that help me out with the craft fairs and the business and whatnot. And again, I will come back in about a month, maybe 2, depending on how this is looking. And I am going to stick it, like I said, out in the open for weather conditions, but not in the open for people to see. I don't want someone to steal this. Not that I think he's stealable or not stealable. He's still really adorable, but it's going to ruin kind of the experiment if someone takes off with it and I can't tell if it got ruined in the weather. So I'm going to make sure he hits the elements, but I want to make sure there's no little 5-finger discounts going on in my yard, because that would really stink. So I will be bringing this guy back into the next time. Basically, the next time you see this little guy, it'll be in a couple of months to see how he stood up to the environment. And I will see you guys in the next video. Blessed be. Bye.